I believe that the cognitive functions of each personality type are either positively or negatively charged, depending on their placement. Perhaps I'm not the first person to think of this, but I don't believe that I've ever heard it discussed before, so I am going to present it as if it's an original idea. Positive charged functions are functions 1 and 3. They are positive because the type has good associations towards these functions. I will elaborate momentarily. Likewise, negative charged functions are 2 and 4. They are negative because the type has negative associations towards these functions. Let's compare the INFP and the ENFP for an example. These types have the same exact cognitive stack, in just a slightly different order. The INFP has FI as the dominant function and NE as their secondary. The ENFP has NE as the dominant function and FI as their secondary. Now, I like to think of NE, or extroverted intuition, as the imagine the possibilities function. Now, using what I mentioned about positive and negative charges, you can see how these seemingly similar types can have radically different views on things. ENFPs have positively charged NE, so they are rather optimistic when it comes to imagining the possibilities. They may constantly think that other people have crushes on them, or that they might find something super cool on their walk home, or maybe they'll get that promotion at work today. INFPs, on the other hand, have negatively charged NE, so they are rather pessimistic when it comes to imagining possibilities. They are far more likely to think that people don't like them or even hate them, that they'll get mugged on their walk home, and that obviously they're going to get fired from their job today because everyone hates them anyway. And just so INFPs don't feel like I am picking on them, let's flip the script for a moment. FI, or introverted feeling, can also be thought of as conviction, how strongly you hold your beliefs. INFPs have positively charged FI, so they stand their ground. They have strong convictions that they don't budge from. They can and will fight for what they believe in. Anyone who has known an INFP knows how stubborn they are. On the other hand, ENFPs have negatively charged FI. They are extremely fickle and are much more likely to doubt themselves. Compared to INFPs, they are much more inclined to cave into popular opinion rather than stick to their guns. This can also extend to their lower functions as well. For instance, SI, or introverted sensing, which can be thought of as following routine and is small detail oriented, is positively charged in INFPs but negatively charged in ENFPs. INFPs love their routines and get very upset if they are disrupted. They like things to be a particular way and have traditions that they adhere to with exact precision, like to the point of being identical. This is a good place to mention that the third function is the fun function. It is the function that the type plays around with to amuse themselves. So, INFPs literally find enjoyment in following routine. ENFPs, on the other hand, have negatively charged SI, so they don't know the meaning of routine and they despise traditions. ENFPs get extremely bored of routine immediately and would much rather do something new and novel rather than adhere to what has been done before. Now, if we look at TE, or extroverted thinking, this can be thought of as the efficiency function. This is getting things done. This is not only positively charged for ENFPs, it is also their fun function. ENFPs have fun being efficient. So much, in fact, that ENFPs almost seem to play work, as in they almost treat their jobs as if they are games. ENFPs often take on multiple jobs, even if they don't have to, or even if it's not that realistic, just because they have fun doing them. Of course, they also hate routine, so if they realize they are stuck in a job, they will grow to resent it, but nevertheless, they are happy when they are getting things done. INFPs, by contrast, have negatively charged TE, so they never get anything done. It is impressive how little they can do. They absolutely loathe efficiency, particularly if it gets in the way of their convictions or routines. While we're on the topic of TE, let's compare two other types, ENTJs and INTJs. ENTJs have dominant TE, and it is positively charged. They live and breathe efficiency. That is why the Sigma male grind set is such a great meme for them. But they don't necessarily have fun being efficient like ENFPs do. To ENTJs, efficiency is them. By contrast, INTJ's TE is negatively charged, so they are very distrusting of efficiency. This is likely why INTJs have conspiratorial ideas about power structures and despise the systems that they live in. I'd wager that both INTJs and INFPs are the two types most likely to resent being a cog in the machine due to their disdain for efficiency. They're negatively charged, TE. NI, also known as introverted intuition, can be oversimplified as being the want function. INTJs have dominant NI, and it is positively charged. INTJs always know what they want. This may be surprising to some, since INTJs are often dissatisfied and inactive. But that is only because when you are aware of what you want, it's painfully obvious when you don't have what you desire, nor the means to achieve it realistically. It's much easier to be content when you don't want anything or don't know what you want. INTJs are obsessive about what they want. Wanting is their mode of being. ENTJs, though, have negatively charged NI, so they are dismissive of what they want. They are the type most likely to write a book on how to be successful and give boomerish advice along the lines of, "It doesn't matter what you want." But I think this advice only works for those with negatively charged NI. So other ENTJs, ESTPs, ESFPs, and maybe ENFJs. And could possibly work for those whose NI is practically non-existent, such as ISTJs. To an INTJ, however, that advice works about as well as telling an ENTJ that efficiency doesn't matter, or an INFP that their convictions don't matter. It's just not gonna fly. So I hope this has been helpful. I don't believe that I need to go through every single type and function. This should be sufficient enough to get my point across. Personally, I find this info useful for explaining why people act the way that they do, and also why people's third function often seems more influential to their behavior than their secondary one. I believe that it's the charges, and understanding our positive and negative charges can help us understand ourselves and others better. Our acculturation continues.